Do you like playing with fire? Would your friends say you can be a bit of a hothead? Then chances are you're a red mage. In Magic the Gathering, the 5 colors represent different attributes and strategies. As you can probably guess, red is associated with fire, lightning, and chaos. Red wants to burn everything in its path before opponents can blink an eye. That's why the ability Haste is most commonly found in red. Creatures with Haste can attack and tap the turn they enter the battlefield, leaving your opponent's creatures in the dust. And when red creatures attack, they hit hard. Many red creatures have abilities like First Strike and Double Strike to aid them in combat. First Strike allows your creatures to deal damage before regular combat damage, and creatures with Double Strike deal both First Strike and regular damage. Whew, that's a lot of heat. Red also has some ways of drawing cards, but they usually come with a drawback. Sometimes red has to discard cards in order to draw different ones, and sometimes red has a small window of time to use the cards it draws. By far, the most iconic red cards are burn spells, which deal direct damage to a creature or player. Lightning Bolt is the gold standard by which all other burn spells are judged. 3 damage for just 1 mana? At instant speed? Doesn't get much better than that. But red isn't all about burning people's faces off. Red likes to have fun, and what's more fun than random things happening? There's a reason Chaos Warp is one of the most popular red cards in Commander, and there are plenty of very silly enchantments that you can try too, especially if you enjoy flipping coins. Red decks come in several distinct flavors. Burn decks rely on direct damage spells to win the game. They play a handful of small, efficient creatures, but most of its damage output comes from spells like Lava Spike, Fire Blast, and our old favorite, Lightning Bolt. Then there's the inverse, creature-based red decks that complement those creatures with a handful of burn spells. These decks are still hyper-aggressive, and most of its creatures cost 3 mana or less. Finally, there are the big red decks, which play more of a mid-range game. These decks often have powerful plays on turns 4 and 5, including powerful dragons. Red is always the first one out of the gate, but it doesn't always win the race against the other colors. Red runs out of steam against life gain strategies, and its small creatures are easily brick-walled by bigger ones. Getting to the late game can sometimes be a challenge for red. Red can draw cards like blue and black, but in most cases, red can only cast those cards the turn it draws them. Red can't accelerate its mana like green, and it lacks the catch-all removal spells commonly found in white and black. Good news is, if you can put together the right combination of spells in the early game, or take advantage of 4 and 5 mana spells to give you some reach, you'll leave all those other decks in the dust. So, why do you enjoy playing red decks? What's your favorite red card in Magic's history? Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned as we cover all 5 colors of Magic.